So today is it's a really exciting. First, Igor, it's really great to see you again. It's always great to get together and share ideas and of course to talk about decentralization and and DLT. Um, you know, it's exciting for me to introduce Igor. We met maybe 3 years ago. And just really hit it off talking about blockchain and sort of the future of blockchain. And he's been one of those folks in the space that has really just has found a way to innovate and build and just really focus on creation in this space where there's just so many people trying to find something to cling to and really kind of call their own. Igor's a seasoned software engineer and tech entrepreneur. He's worked extensively with distributed systems and security, and most recently in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space, which he'll share with you about that. Really exciting about Igor's background. He led the development of the Ethereum Classic blockchain. So if any of you are familiar with Ethereum, Ethereum Classic is a prolific blockchain that's out there that in fact, if you do any crypto buying and selling or anything like that, Ethereum Classic is on Coinbase. Igor can tell you a lot more about the technology than I can, but he organized an original development team to work on Ethereum, and they later called that Ethereum Classic, and it became a sustainable community in its own right. It's become an independent community owned project. It's one of the top 10 blockchains in the world. The market capitalization for Ethereum Classic is well over $4 billion. I believe that's USD. So Igor, you can keep me honest there. But additionally, he's one of the few people who decided to protect decentralization and immutability principles in the public blockchains when the Ethereum Foundation decided to reverse some of their transactions. And I remember Igor sharing some stories just around, those decisions. And so, very, very interesting to be so early in a conversation that is still so nascent and changing the world in such a profound and prolific way. In 2020, February this year, one of the things that's been really interesting is that Igor founded the Emerald Project. And this is a project where they're building a wallet for people and businesses who use cryptocurrency daily for payments. And Emerald's goal is to build a new fintech infrastructure where blockchain and cryptocurrency are the foundation and a primary medium of exchange. Igor, without further ado, I want to pass it over to you because, it's just better to hear it directly from you. So thank you so much for joining us and being here with us in this time.
Well, thank you for the introduction, and thank you for having me. So yeah, you made a really perfect introduction. I have nothing to add. So yeah, I can start with the talk itself. So I'm going to talk about real use of cryptocurrencies, and I'll try to make it interesting. I hope so. So I'm going to make some short intro to the cryptocurrencies, just in general, and we'll try to tell why people use it, what are the challenges, and some ideas kind of looking forward, why I think cryptocurrencies will disrupt the financial system. So let's start with a introduction to the cryptocurrencies, and yeah, in general, I'm trying to answer some common questions I usually have getting from people not involved in cryptocurrencies, and usually it's why anyone would even need cryptocurrency. Or other people who probably invested a lot into different ICOs, and they tell, oh, I bought this and this, I don't know, 500 of coins now, and what should I do with them? How can I use them? I want to buy a coffee with these tokens. And that next question is how to buy coffee, how to put these cryptocurrencies into a debit card, and so on. Other people are worried about the volatility and thinking it's just too risky to have cryptocurrencies to invest into them or use for anything real. So let me start. So cryptocurrency is peer-to-peer money. It means that there is no trusted authority. There is not central party, no company which issues cryptocurrencies. Like in general, like originally it's Bitcoin, and second popular is Ethereum. And most of the tokens, cryptocurrency tokens, are run on Ethereum. They are not kind of separate blockchain. And in general, there are like 7,000 cryptocurrencies and tokens. Some of them are stablecoins. I mentioned them specifically because I'm going to return back to this topic later. And there is a screen of like top 10 cryptocurrencies. As I said, there are more than 7,000 of cryptocurrencies right now, but maybe top 10 or top, I don't know, 50 actually have any use. I mean, besides investment, most of the tokens, you can invest in them, buy and sell, and that's the major use of cryptocurrencies, at least in North America and Europe. That's who use cryptocurrencies, traders and investors, just to buy and sell them. Other use cases, emerging markets and remittance, and when people send basically some small amounts to family back. There's also remote workers. That's remote workers and freelancers. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this later. Political organizations, privacy-related projects, and criminal and money launderers, allegedly. Because I said allegedly because by some analysis, it's less than 1% of actual use is used by some criminals and so on. So most of the use cases are usage is by real people for something they want to do legally. So trading and investments. That's how most of the people know cryptocurrency. They buy and sell probably on Coinbase or somewhere, and not everyone agrees with that. Like Warren Buffett, who says that cryptocurrency basically have no value or zero. So regardless of that, there are a lot of trades, and I'm not sure how much traded right now because we in another cycle of hype. But before that, it was around $4 billion traded every 24 hours. And during last hype, it was like $6 billion, like exactly 2 years ago. In emerging markets, there is completely different story. I mean, traders are mostly located in North America and Europe, and they have their use cases. But in emerging markets, it's not used for trading or investment because many people actually unbanked or don't have enough money for investments. They use cryptocurrency because they have some uncertainty with government currency, or have some hyperinflation, or they don't trust their banks or government, or have too strict regulations, especially on cross-border payments. And major exchanges like Coinbase and others are not available in many of these countries. So people buy cryptocurrencies just by meeting in person. There are several websites, like LocalBitcoins is most known. It allows you to find another person who would want to sell or buy cryptocurrency from you. You can meet in person or find other ways how you make the trade. So, and looking into Bitcoin's local Bitcoin stats, there is different trades aggregate by day in different countries, like African countries or Latin American countries. And the top one there is Venezuela. As you see, there are like almost $750,000 traded every day on local Bitcoins only. And I must say that our local Bitcoins, it's not a final number, because people tend to find a trusted seller on local Bitcoins, and then they can do the actual exchange in person. So they don't use local Bitcoins, and there are also other websites and other places to exchange. So it's like some minimal numbers. In the countries, like in American countries, people also use cryptocurrencies because they basically receive it as remittance from their family members living, working in other countries, and sending some small amount to the family back. In average, this amount is like $600. And if you use traditional ways to send money back, like using PayPal, Western Union, or bank transfer, for these small amounts, you pay like $100 of fees, which is a lot. So some people are trying to use the currencies already. By some info, it's around 16% of centers tried cryptocurrencies. They're not using it all the time, but sometimes they use cryptocurrencies, or at least try it at once. And as one example, for Venezuela, there is information that there's around $5 million transferred in cryptocurrency as a remittance to Venezuela alone. And also it's remote workers and remote teams and tech people. I made a separate slide only because we focus on these teams. I see that it's a growing niche. A lot of tech people learned about cryptocurrencies, and it's something similar to remittance actually. It's a small amounts sent to another country, and right now using bank transfer, it takes like 10–15% of the earning. So people are trying to use cryptocurrency for that. And also it's much faster than using a bank transfer, because right now using all these intermediaries and banks and everything, it takes maybe a week to receive payment for some small work. With cryptocurrencies, you can get this in minutes or hours at most. And last one is political donations. That's WikiLeaks is one of the examples, but most of the actual examples in non-Western countries, where it's much harder to be some opposition to the government, and governments has a very effective way to stop opposition, basically not allowing them to open banks account. So they are trying to accept donations in Bitcoin. It has some challenges, but it works for some of the companies, some of the political activists, or free press, and so on. So how people use cryptocurrencies there? If you live in North America, again, it's not a problem at all, because even Amazon, I mean, you can buy at Amazon using cryptocurrencies, not directly with Amazon, but using some third parties, some intermediaries, which will accept cryptocurrencies from you, like Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, and they will buy on Amazon anything you want and send you. I mean, they basically use Amazon API, and they made a full automated process for that. So yeah, it works perfectly, and it's they can give even a discount somehow. If you want to pay offline, again, you can make a debit card, like BitPay is one of the most known. you can put cryptocurrencies, exchange cryptocurrency to US dollars, and pay anywhere with that card. You can pay in other countries as well, but it's available to US residents. I believe in other countries there are some companies which provide something similar, like debit cards, which can be connected to cryptocurrency wallet. And speaking about buying food, like this an example in Venezuela, you can actually buy food, pizza in this example, using cryptocurrencies. I don't know how it actually works. I've never been to Venezuela, and I'm not sure that cryptocurrencies are usable actually for buying food like that, but that's an example that I believe is working already, and maybe people are using that. Otherwise, in many countries, in many places all over the world, you can find these Bitcoin ATMs. This particular example is in Switzerland, where you can transfer your Bitcoins. So you just come to that ATM, it shows you address where they actually print this address, some QR code for address to send money, to send you cryptocurrencies. You send them there, and you have to wait some time, like 30 minutes, until they receive and confirm everything, and then you get the money, like cash, which you can use anywhere, obviously. Or you can go to some offline exchanges where you can exchange your Bitcoins to local currency. This one is from Ukraine. So the place where you can schedule a meeting and make an actual exchange, probably even for big amounts if you need. Or there are many different places, actually, many different websites and ways to exchange. Like this, an example from from Russia. They say they have more than 400 exchanges in their list, and they basically rate them for you by price and by the way how you want to make an exchange. It's not necessarily a personal meeting. It can be like ATM deposit. I mean, in Russia, it's possible to deposit money to any one address just by using an ATM. So you enter the account number and put cash into ATM, and the account owner received the money. And I believe that's the most popular way to exchange Bitcoins right now. And there are many websites or services which provides just this service for you. As this website says, they have over 400 exchanges, like small exchanges focused on just on this kind of exchange. So I hope I showed good examples to prove that people are actually using cryptocurrencies and besides trading and investments. And so the next question is probably why people are using cryptocurrencies. The most obvious is probably to avoid some restrictions. I talked to a guy in Argentina. So he used cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, because he sells clothes from China, and he basically have no other way to buy them except using cryptocurrencies because of the limits on bank transfer, foreign bank transfers, which is limited to something like $250 per month, and otherwise you need to do a lot of paperwork and everything, which he cannot afford because he just small family shop, and he used cryptocurrencies, which works fine for him. Also, I heard a story about some guy from Nigeria who do basically the same, but selling cell phones bought in China. Again, he doesn't even have a bank account, so he used cryptocurrencies to buy a couple of cell phones a month and sell them in non-local market. And as I said, it allows you to make a direct transfer, which is important, especially when you want to make this direct transfer to someone in another country. It's just easier. I mean, than compared to bank transfers. In some countries or some people, they just worried about their money and they want to have more control, keep them some safe place, and they think that cryptocurrencies provide this safety and control. They can keep them on their computer or their private key, and they know that no one can take this money from them. They don't trust the banks or other companies to keep their money. Another reason is privacy, but it's interesting topic because cryptocurrencies are not actually private. They are fully transparent, but by privacy, people usually mean that no one asks your passport to open an account. You just install some software and start using cryptocurrencies. So if you don't tell anyone who are you, who is behind the address, it probably means that it's private. So you can hide your identity if you want, and it's important again in emerging markets when people just don't want to show government probably that they receive some money from abroad, from the family members or so on. And it's actually fast. People argue that they say that cryptocurrencies are slower than traditional payments, and it's true. If you go to supermarket and pay with credit card, it's much faster to use credit card rather than cryptocurrencies right now. But if you use it for anything more, like making actual transfer, not even to another country, but another person in the same country, it takes some time. It takes maybe days to make a transfer. And with cryptocurrencies, it will take a few minutes, maybe. It depends on cryptocurrency. For Ethereum, it may take like 15 seconds. For Bitcoin, it may take like 10 minutes or less. So it's faster than bank transfer usually. And it's even cheaper, because even if you do like local transfer, you still pay some money to the bank, and in US it costs like $30, right? $35 for a bank transfer. With cryptocurrencies, you pay less than $1 usually. And if we are talking about foreign transfers, it takes like $100 to make a transfer, split by both parties. With cryptocurrencies, it doesn't matter where is the recipient. It's still the same $1 or so in fees, and it doesn't matter how much you're trying to send. So what do you need to start using cryptocurrencies? All you need is to install some software. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to open some account within some organization, show any IDs or whatever. You just install software and start using it. But there is some important difference actually. So when I say you should install software, there is two different wallets for cryptocurrencies, two different types, and it's important difference. So one type of wallets are called custodial wallets. It's wallets from PayPal, from Coinbase, and from BitPay. And PayPal is actually a good example of this kind of wallets. It doesn't allow you to do anything with your Bitcoins. You can buy Bitcoins using PayPal, and you could probably see them, I mean, like a number, how much Bitcoins you own, but you cannot withdraw them, you cannot send them to anyone, and it's not Bitcoin at all. It just investment probably. So these kind of wallets, they don't give you any access to the cryptocurrency you own, and maybe you don't even own these cryptocurrencies. Other types of wallets is non-custodial wallets. These kind of wallets, they give you a real access to cryptocurrencies. That's them allow you to keep your cryptocurrency on your computer, on your devices, and there are many examples of them. That's Emerald Wallet, which I'm working on, or Bitcoin Core Wallet, Electrum, or MetaMask Wallet, so many wallets with different features, different UI, and for different cryptocurrencies, obviously. So, is it enough to start using cryptocurrencies? I mean, like if everyone installed the wallet, probably, but we have the problem with mass adoption. Most people cannot use cryptocurrencies, and all the use case I mentioned before is more like early adopters. They're trying to use, sometimes it works, sometimes it's not, but it's a lot of problems. A lot of challenges I'm going to talk about later. And one of the problem is lack of mass adoption. That's what everyone is looking for, expects. It's a chicken and egg problem. So people avoid cryptocurrencies because they don't see others people using cryptocurrencies, and they basically wait for other people. And they wait for a moment when it will be usable as USD or gold. And when people talk about the mass adoption, they basically tell them about the following. I'm just going to show you some example. That screens from movie The Game. It's an old movie from 90s. I believe everyone saw the movie. And just as a reminder, that's a movie about the guy who is some banker or something working in finance, whose name is Nicholas. So his younger brother gave him a kind of present to participate in some game, the game. And during this game, he went to some events, some hard times, and yeah, you remember the movie. The final scene, he fell down from the building through the glass ceiling to his birthday party. He didn't even knew about that. And in this particular scene, he wake up in Mexico, somewhere in Mexico, in some pool place, and he didn't speak the language. He didn't have any money. He didn't have passport or anything, but he needed to return back to the US. And the only way he found to fix his problem is to trade his expensive luxury watches, like Patek Philippe or something like that. So he traded them for some documents, maybe for ticket back, and even for some money to buy food. And since we're close to Christmas time, there is another example from another movie. So that's Kevin's mom. She's trying to trade Rolex watches for a ticket back to United States. And the interesting moment, actually, that these Rolex were probably fake, but it still allowed her to make the trade and get the ticket fly back to the United States. So I hope you you got the what I mean, what people mean by mass adoption. It's they want to see the world where the cryptocurrencies will be accepted anywhere, like luxury watches or gold or US dollar. In any place of the world, if you have any of that and you have any problems, you can exchange them to local currency or get some service you are looking for. And if we have something like that, we know we can get the same cryptocurrencies. It means we got the mass adoption. We are not here yet, and that because we have a lot of challenges to solve with cryptocurrencies. And I'm going to show some of them. One of the biggest one, I don't think everyone understands that, but it's biggest challenge that people tell me when I tell them about cryptocurrencies. I mean, it's people who are non-tech people who don't have any cryptocurrency and probably don't even know how it works, and they're afraid of the price volatility. Maybe price changes, like today, price changes is good for investors, for traders, but it doesn't work for people who want to actually use cryptocurrency to sell or buy some stuff. They need some stable price, and that's the most critical requirement for them. There is actually a book written like half a century ago. Yeah, there's a name, denationalization of money, and from Hayek. And if you're interested in this topic, I would suggest to read it. But I want to say that that we have stable coins that they're solving this problem more or less. That's why I mentioned them before. So we have stable coins, which are synthetic cryptocurrencies with stable, non-volatile price, usually $1 US. There are many of them. Most notable are USDT, USDC, and the DAI. At this moment, there are around $25 billion issued in these cryptocurrencies. Also, Facebook is launching the cryptocurrency called Diem. Before it was called Libra, and they started the cryptocurrencies initially with stable coins tied to US dollar, euro, and British pound, and probably a few others. So most of these cryptocurrencies are actually not cryptocurrency at all. It's more like a tokens with some backed by some company which holds resources in a bank. They hold all these US dollars or other currencies in a bank and can exchange it for you. Except one cryptocurrency, DAI. It's a good example of cryptocurrency backed by a smart contract. It doesn't have any bank resource. It's fully managed by a smart contract, and people put some other cryptocurrencies as a collateral. And the smart contract manages the price and make it possible to be non-volatile, always $1 US. Other challenges, big challenge is amount of new concepts that you have to learn to start using cryptocurrencies. So right now it's mostly available to tech people who understand what it means, how it works. But for others, all these ideas of private keys and biggest issue that it's hard for people to accept that there is no central party, there is no central organization that you can call and fix something. You can call and restore your money or restore your private key or something. And when I mentioned there is two types of wallets, that's the main difference. There is custodial wallets. They are actually managed by some central organization which keeps your coins, and you can call them and solve your problem. For non-custodial wallets, you're on your own. And if you did something wrong, you have no one to call or solve your problem. There is some ways to solve that. We are trying to solve that with our Emerald wallet, but it's still a big challenge for all newcomers. Another one is software complexity. To start using non-custodial wallets, at least, you have to understand what is full node. Do you need that or not? If you need, how to install that, how to open ports for connections, do you need it at all? And how to start using it on mobile, because especially in emerging markets, you need it on mobile as a mobile application in the first place. And if you want non-custodial wallets, it's not so easy. And other ways to set everything up, all these addresses and everything, it's just too complex for a non-tech person to start using cryptocurrencies. And I already mentioned the private key, but it's another big challenge for people, even for tech people. Private key is not a password. It's actual key to all your cryptocurrencies, and you need to know how to protect it, how to use the private key, how to back it up. And people don't really know, don't have any experience. Even tech people often lose their private keys, and or they can change their device or lose their computer. And at this case, it means they lost money. They can leak the private key or tell someone. People don't understand that the final ultimate protection for their money. There are a lot of websites that ask you for private key. Like in Emerald, we receive like almost every week, actually more often, a few times a week usually, it's an email from support ticket from someone who entered his private key on some website, who promised some money or something in exchange for the private key. So they enter their private key, lost the money, and they submit a support ticket to us. Like, can you please restore my money, return them back, because I gave my private key to some phishing website, and we cannot do anything. In this case, no one can do. If you leaked your private key, you lost your money. This is hard truth. So I mentioned the challenges that are solving, and the question why people are trying to solve this, why we're trying to solve these problems, why we believe that cryptocurrencies will be used by people. And here I'm trying to look into the future, trying to explain why cryptocurrency, why I believe that cryptocurrency provides some advantage compared to traditional financial system. What features did not exist before at all, and or not considered as a possibility, and now are provided by cryptocurrencies, and that the reason I believe will make them main way to I wouldn't say money, but to make some financial operations for people, keep in savings, so make payments. So there are a few basic advantages that did not exist with traditional finance. First one is transparency and accountability. It means, like with cryptocurrency, you can actually share your balance or your history of transactions or with anyone. You can share only part of your transactions or part of your money. And when I say share, I mean actually share. give access, not just not like in traditional banking system when you get some paper saying that this person, this account has this amount. No, it will be real mathematical proof of what you had or you have in your account. It will be final proof without any third party involved. You can not only show your balance, you can give access and allow to use your money for maybe for some period, for some short time period, maybe for long time period, or maybe with some limits. And again, that will not involve any third party. It will be direct access for someone. There could be many participants which simultaneously have access to some money, some company money maybe. Again, it's impossible with traditional finance. You have to use some third party which actually have full control over the money and executing orders from some people who allow to use the money. And third thing is maybe hard to get. It allows you to have money controlled by a computer or by some software. And only that computer, only that software, or that smart contract can do whatever it programmed it to do with this money, and without anyone preventing it from executing the transactions, or without anyone who can take money from that computer. One of the examples I mentioned before was the DAI stablecoin, which is managed by a smart contract, which regulates all the prices and collateral and everything, and it manages to keep this price stable. It uses some external sources for price, but still it's fully managed by a computer, by a software. More important is trust. Is that with cryptocurrency you don't need to have to use any trust at all. I mean, like traditional financial system is based on idea of trust, that you always trust someone to keep your money, to manage your money, and it could be banks, it could be people, and if run by people, it means that it's slow. And the bigger issue is that the trust is expensive. It's expensive to earn. It takes years to earn the trust. You can just get someone money and they're not going to trust you. And it's inefficiency in the current markets. And these cryptocurrencies, you don't trust. I mean, it's initially built on the idea that you don't trust anyone. You just verify everything mathematically. That's the basic idea of cryptocurrencies or crypto finance. And it's based on idea that some of the participants are actually malicious people that want to steal your money. And you're only protected by the mathematics, not by some person. And it's also faster. It run by computers. It works in milliseconds and costs nothing to execute. It's maybe not clear what I mean right now, but I give you some example. One of the examples. There is one particular company called Avi. It works on Ethereum and it provides so-called flash loans. It's when you can get some loan for some quick use, I would say. They have some examples on their website, but basically it's an idea that you can get this flash loan to close some financial operation on one market or somewhere, and sell something, buy something, and open some position on another market, maybe. That basically basic idea of market efficiencies, when you can get a loan, borrow some money to to buy, if you see some inefficiency, like some stock priced differently in different markets, like in London Stock Exchange, in New York Stock Exchange, you can buy in one place and sell in another place. But in the real world, to do so, you need to be trusted by other people. That if you want to get this loan, you need to show that you're not going to run with the money somehow. But if you use cryptocurrency, in this case, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to provide any documents. You don't need to even to tell anyone why you need this loan. You don't need to create any account. You don't need to do any proof at all. You just get the money for some immediate use. You make some operation and return money back. It's like you're going to some branch of a bank and you see the money laying on the table. You take as much as you need without telling anyone who are you, wearing a mask, and return money when you executed your profitable deal. That works in Ethereum with smart contracts. And I'm not sure if it's visible, but in total, they're locked like $1,069,000,000. It's in different assets, but in general, it's like you can get $1 billion without telling anyone why you need this money, make any operation, which should be profitable for you, and return with some interest back. And it's protected by rules of the smart contract, so you cannot run with the money at all. The only way to get the money is by proving that you return them, basically, which is impossible with traditional market at all. You have to spend decades on Wall Street to get a loan for $1 billion probably, but there you can get it any time. Another important difference is I called it continuous finance, and basically it's like how internet changed the way how we communicate, how we communicated before using paper mails. Before that, it was taken like a month to send your letter and wait a response. And so on. It was slow, but right now we can have immediate communication with anyone around the world. We can see each other, we can talk to each other, and it's not 1,000 times faster. I don't know, it's millions times faster than it was before with paper mail, and that's what cryptocurrencies provides, because they can be 1,000 times more effective. Or you can spend billions of a dollar in one transaction, and you can have thousands of participants, or you can have payments split into some small time frames, like milliseconds, involving many people around the globe, and so on. There are some services which do that already. We use this functionality, but in general, it's something completely new, and we maybe don't understand how to use that yet. But it's a big advantage compared to traditional finance. So I hope I showed why people use cryptocurrencies and why I believe it will just continue to grow. And I would be happy to answer any questions. And, there is my email and my address, so feel free to reach me out.
Igor, thanks for for sharing. I've got a few questions just to kind of get us kicked off here. You shared that cryptocurrencies can help us become self-banked. I'm curious. Just from your perspective, can you talk a little bit more about what you mean when you say self-banked?
As I said, you don't need any bank at all. You can have your money like cash, but in some digital way. So a bank in this case will is not even the application, it's not even the wallet, but infrastructure itself. All other people using cryptocurrencies, cryptocurrency as a blockchain.
And so, you know, when we're talking about it, you know, from that perspective, is there, it would seem that identity management or identity is really important. I don't know, you know, can you speak a little bit about the relationship between identity and your wallet, or identity and cryptocurrency? Just
Yeah, absolutely right. I think it's one of the most important aspects too. I initially actually thought about telling about this more, but it would be just too much for this topic. But I think that so most people who are using emerging markets cryptocurrency, they it's enough for them to have this cryptocurrency wallet as some identity for payments. But I believe that it can go beyond this, and we can rely on some, maybe not Bitcoin address, but something like that. Some kind of identity which allows you to sign up somewhere for some services, and it will show that you are you actually, and based just on this identity and maybe money which are associated with your identity.
yeah, you know, and this really, I'm glad that you started off by, you know, sharing sort of these frequently asked questions, if you will. You know, one of the questions that I feel like I get all the time is
I just want to sorry to interrupt. I want just to add. I guess I want to. So not all people who use cryptocurrency, they actually have the bank account and some IDs at all, and that's why they use cryptocurrencies. And one of the examples actually, like people who move to another country, how it's called? I just forgot the name. So I mean, like when people. Okay, so they move to Europe from some countries where there is the war and everything.
The remittance use case?
No, I mean like people who move from, for example, from countries where is a war right now. They move to Europe and they don't have any IDs at all. They need to they live in some place provided by government right now, and they cannot open a bank account at all because again they're not citizens yet. And the only way for them right now is to use cryptocurrencies or cash. But they use cryptocurrencies as remittance, receiving money back, or as some of them are freelancers. Again, they're working for some companies, maybe from another country, receive some small amount of money, and they exchange them for cash because they don't have a way to open a bank account, and the reason why they don't have a bank account because they don't have local ID because they're not citizens yet.
Right. And this actually reminds me very much of the sort of, there's a use case that we talked about a few years ago around guardianship. And, you know, there's this idea also of, you know, people who maybe are not in a place where they're able to sort of take care of themselves at this point, or perhaps maybe there is some, you know, whether it's a national form of guardianship or whether it's a sort of interpersonal form of guardianship. It seems that there's a lot of discussion in the DLT space, the cryptocurrency space. But curious, you know, you're working on Emerald, the Emerald wallet. You know, curious, you know, kind of what you think about this. We had Drummond Reed from Evernym a little while back, and he was sort of talking about the wallet wars, is the way he described it, and sort of there being, a lot of different groups that are coming up with wallets now. Curious, you know, what are you seeing out there in terms of the evolution of the way people use wallets? Are you finding that more people are using wallets and know what they are?
I see that that unfortunately most of the people coming to crypto space, they start with custodial wallets. I mean, maybe it's good. Actually, it's easier for them because there is no actually wallet that is usable right now. Like in 90s when internet was accessible only for some tech people, and it was easier to print email rather than read from the screen sometimes. Actually, email wasn't accessible for many people at that time. And at some point, we got Gmail and other email providers and so on and so on. People started to use internet. And something similar is happening with cryptocurrency at this moment because most of the wallets right now are just too complex, too technical, and it's easy to misuse, and it's hard to understand how to install everything correctly. And what people mostly use right now is using wallets from Coinbase or PayPal, which are not even cryptocurrency wallets, but it gives some initial access for them, initial understanding maybe. And I'm looking forward when we and other wallets will provide some solution for people for when my grandma will be able to use cryptocurrency and in non-custodial way.
Right.
But this will take some time.
Well, and we're talking about custodial wallets, and the really fascinating thing, that in and of itself is a unique concept, because for most people, if you in this audience, for example, just thinking about the folks that might be on the call here, for many people in the United States, all they've ever known is custodial banking. So this idea that you can potentially not have to have someone who's managing all of that for you is a really disruptive thought. And you alluded to this many times in your talk, where you shared that there's no one that you can call and say, hey, this is broken or it's not working. So do you see this? Obviously, I'm guessing you see this as being the future. You see us moving in this direction.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I just didn't get the question.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think about where we are, though, I mean, because just 10 years ago, people were saying, no, there's no way. I mean, and even now, it's just been really sort of, during 2020 that, I was listening to someone on, I don't know, maybe CNBC or something. And they said, oh my gosh, I'm not putting my investments in gold, I'm putting it in Bitcoin. And it was the first time I'd ever heard anyone say something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking more like at people who actually use cryptocurrencies and they want to maybe buy food with cryptocurrencies. I believe it's more important than investments. It's not so many people at this moment compared to traders, and I see that it's completely two different markets. One market is North American Europe market, where people are mostly interested in buying and holding cryptocurrencies, and they can have extra few $1,000s just to play with cryptocurrencies, to learn more about that. And another market is a whole other world actually. So it's Africa and Latin America and Eastern Europe, where people don't have money for investments, but they start to use cryptocurrency because of some reasons. Maybe they don't trust government and so on. That's what I basically been telling about. And I'm looking into this niche. It's certainly growing, and people asking questions how to start using for something, how to send money to family back, and it's improving. I mean, how you can actually do that is still far from mass adoption.
I'm really glad that that we got to sort of touch on this topic a little bit, because for many people, the only thing they know about cryptocurrencies is trading. But as you just shared, there's a completely different aspect in the emerging and the growing world where for many people, where a stable government may not exist, there is a need of having to being self-banked. And so, is your thought there then, they say that 97% of the development that's going to be happening in the world, over the next, millennia is going to happen in the sort of emerging environments. Places like, in, countries like Mozambique, or places like, you look at very water-rich countries like Brazil, and so on and so forth. Do you see, those communities really adopting this technology? Do you see that being sort of a viable glide path there for those communities to really adopt this technology?
I think it's possible because I think right now in the emerging markets or in most of the places, people are having access to the internet, but they don't have access to the banking industry, maybe. Like I talked to a guy from Nigeria, and he told that almost everyone has a smartphone, some cell phone with some Android, and with access to the internet, but almost no one have a bank account. And what they do, they basically call it mobile money. When they send money to a phone number, they know each other, phone number and how they send money. And to make a deposit, put money into his kind of virtual bank account, he just go to a mobile operator branch, which are like everywhere, and he puts money into his cell phone, basically. And they can start using cryptocurrency even more likely than traditional banking. Because it's just nothing stop them right now. They don't have like traditional infrastructure they used to, like in US, like you still used to use to have checks and all these branches and everything, and you can't actually do anything online. You have to go to a branch to make most of the operations, and people don't think that it's not convenient. They just used to that. They pay these high fees, and they are used to loan and like long time to receive and everything. But in these emerging markets, people don't have any experience with any of them. And if they start using cryptocurrencies, they will quickly learn that it works exactly as you expect from financial system, what you expect from cash, from digital cash.
Right. And it's fascinating that you shared
basically start from some blank page, and they don't need to rely on something old and outdated.
Yeah, no, it's really fascinating, the point that you shared about the person from Nigeria. And most emerging countries you go to, or many countries you go to, everyone has a smartphone. There's a couple of questions coming in. We just got the most recent one we just got. It looks like Ryan asked, looking forward to seeing how new applications and use cases for decentralized banking emerge in the next few years. This is a really, interesting topic, on the banking piece. Just a few years ago, there was a session with a banking executive, and, and they shared that, hey, the bank recognizes that there are technologies out there that essentially make us a bit obsolete, in the sense that you don't have to come and put your money in the bank. And it was fascinating. One of the metrics they used is they were talking about how few of us actually go to the bank anymore, and that people are really rarely even have time to go to the bank. So interested to hear kind of your thoughts. Are you seeing some unique applications of of the technology in the banking world? I mean, with banks specifically, are you seeing big banks jump on the bandwagon?
I actually think that it will be completely different. It will be a different way because that's how technology works. It provides a lot of different things in different way to manage your money, and it actually requires different ways to manage your money. So if we're speaking about decentralized finance, just look at the exchanges. So we have DeFi exchanges, and we have traditional exchanges. Exchanges between different currencies, cryptocurrencies. If you look at the DeFi, you basically cannot have all these trades when like many people put different limits and everything, order books and so on, because it's not how technology works. You have to invent some different ways to make a trade. That's the requirement from the technology. So you have to reinvent everything. And when you start reinventing, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This has been really, really interesting. I'm sure there's a I always get questions around people asking how can they use cryptocurrencies. People are always asking which cryptocurrency should I invest in, or what should I be doing with them. Just a very simple question that I'm sure people have. I know I've asked. If you were advising folks on the call here or on the session here, or in general, because we are going to post this online on our video, so it'll live on. But if you were to share with folks, what's a good way to get started in understanding how cryptocurrencies can help in the world and from benefits to the world, where would you recommend folks starting? Is there a book or a use case or a website or maybe just a topic to read about, or what would you recommend doing?
I think there's, I'm trying to remember, there is a website called something like Satoshi Institute, something like that, which actually has a good selection of books and articles on these topics to better understand what exactly cryptocurrencies providing to the world, how exactly it changed, and it allows you to learn more about the fundamental ideas.
No, fantastic.
Wait a second. Yeah, I need to check. Like Nakamoto Institute, probably like that.
Yeah, no. So it's I feel like I've heard of Satoshi Institute, but there's just, I'm sure there's a ton of that out there. There was a question from someone about how they can accept crypto payments on their website, but I suspect that there are many libraries and sort of how-tos and guides out there, for folks to use. Anything worth noting there that you would recommend to folks who are interested in actually using crypto in their products, their apps?
That's interesting topic again, because there is not central party. In general, you can. It becomes more complex again because you probably want or need to install something on your server, and it becomes much harder compared to just accepting PayPal or credit cards. But there are a few easy to use libraries. I don't remember the actual names, but there is. No, I can't recall right now, but it can be Googled. So there are a few ways to more or less easily install it onto the website and start accepting cryptocurrencies right now.
Yeah.
The main difference with PayPal would be that you will start accepting it to your own address without any intermediary.
Are you using cryptocurrencies in your day-to-day life?
Not as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
I tried most of the, so what I mentioned, all these screens, I tried most of them, except Venezuela, never been there. But just, for educational purposes, I tried everything, and I would say it works. But with all the changes, it's still something to do. Yeah, many things to fix.
Yeah, no,
from usability perspective, yeah.
So to piggyback on that, another question for beginners, sort of folks who are just wanting to learn about this technology, Coinbase, it seems is, maybe, I think it was maybe last year, they started having these learning videos that you watch these learning sessions and they will give you cryptocurrency to get you started. It was the first time I'd ever seen that. Curious, have you seen anyone else out there paying people in crypto to get them to learn about crypto?
No, didn't hear about this. I need to check it out.
So yeah, so something for folks who are interested in learning more. Coinbase has this. I learned this with Stellar Lumens, which is another technology platform out there. Their specific focus being on remittances, which Igor, you mentioned remittance. Very interesting use case, right? This idea of folks who travel to another country, they live, they work there, and then they are sending money back home. Folks who've never had to do that before don't know how much of a hassle that is. And so here's, a group like Stellar doing something like that, right?
Yeah, it's a big use case, and it's not so easy in terms of costs. I mean, you usually just pay a lot of money to make even small transfer, and it's a big business. And there is few existing solutions using cryptocurrency, including Stellar, to make remittance payments. And I believe it will be one of the most growing niche in this space.
Yeah.
Because it's also an existing problem, which is ineffective right now, and it's very expensive for people who already don't have a lot of money to send back to their family. They tend in like a couple of $100s probably, and they pay like $50 or $100 from these few hundreds just to the intermediary to make the payment, which is a lot for them.
Absolutely. Igor, this has been fascinating, and just it's always great to hear you share and just hear your story. There's one more question it looks like, and we'll make this our last one. The question is, is there a third-party resource available on the current state of the crypto marketplace? And Ted was saying that he's hearing about extremes of huge wins and huge losses, but what about just wanting moderate growth? So I think his really sort of getting to the heart of the question. Is there sort of a report or a resource or something out there sort of talking about cryptocurrencies, focusing on moderate growth as opposed to the big swings? It seems that Ethereum Classic is hasn't. Think about a number of cryptocurrencies out there. There's a couple that haven't had as huge a swings as others, but I don't know. Curious what your thoughts are in terms of moderate growth. Are there some cryptocurrencies that you're seeing just steadily growing consistently?
I think Bitcoin and Ethereum steadily growing if you look at the big picture. But if you want non-volatile currency, you're looking for stablecoins. Anything else will be volatile at this moment, and that's fine. But speaking about the resources, there is actually a few companies that make reports. One of them is, I believe, called Misari Crypto. They made some reports recently. I'm not sure if it's all available online, but again, you can Google. There are a few reports by end of the year about the current state and changes from financial perspective.
No, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. This has been fantastic. Igor, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for being here and sharing with us. We're always excited, when we get a speaker like you can come and share some really interesting and cutting edge and sort of innovative stuff about what's going on out there. So for the Innov8 community, thanks again, and we really appreciate it. Thanks everyone for joining us.